Welcome back. We continue from where we stopped, and the next question is 21. This is a continuation of a mock examination review, and we continue and we go straight to the next question, which is number 21. It says express 555 base 4 in base 7. Here we have to change it to base 10 before changing the answer to base 7. That's an easier way to go about it. So, number 21, 555 base 4. To write this in base 10, it's going to become, that's 0, 1. I'm sure you remember this method, and that means 5 times 4 raised to power 2 plus 5 times 4 raised to power 1 plus 5 times 4 raised to power 0. And that simply means 5 times 16 plus 5 times 4. 4 raised to power 1 is still 4 plus 5 times 1. 4 raised to power 0 is the same as 1. Any number raised to power 0 is the same as 1. 5 times 16 is 80 plus 20 plus 5. And that means 105 base 10. And now we change that to base 7 by the long division method. 7 in 10 is 1. We're left with 3. 7 in 35 is 5. And there's no remainder. 7 in 15 is 2. 7 times 2, 14. We are left with 1. 7 in 2 is 0. And the remainder is 2. So, that's the same as 210 base 7. Therefore, 555 base 4 555 base 4 is the same as 210 base 7. And the correct option is C. Now straight to the next, number 22. Convert 11101 base 2 to denary. Denary is the same as base 10. And that simply means, of course, the same way, 0, 1, 2. You remember this trick, 3, 4. And that's 1 times 2 raised to power 4 plus 1 times 2 raised to power 3 plus 1 times 2 raised to power 2 plus 0 times 2 raised to power 1 plus 1 times 2 raised to power 0. Which means 1 times 16 plus 1 times 8 plus 1 times 4 plus 0 plus 1 times 1. Any number raised to power 0 is the same as 1. So 1 times 2 raised to power 0 is the same as 1 times 1. And that's 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 0 plus 1, which is 24, 28, 29 base 10. And the correct option is C. Now we'll move on. Number 23. How many seconds are there in a day? One day is 24 hours. One day is 24 hours. And that's the same as 24 times 3,600 seconds. Because there are 3,600 seconds in an hour. So 3,600 times 24. 4 carry 2, 12, 14, and here we have 0, 0, 12, 2, carry 1, 6, 7. It becomes 6, 8. So that's 86,400. 86,400 seconds. And what's the correct option? That's D. The correct option is D. And then we write on number 24 quickly. Number 24. Express 108 kilometers per hour in meters per second and leave your answer in standard form. All right, 100, that's simple. 108 kilometers per hour is actually the same as 108 kilometers over 1 hour. And that means 108. To change that to meters, we multiply it by 1000 over 1 times. We change this to seconds. To change hour to second, you multiply it by 3,600. Hour to seconds, you multiply it by 3,600. And that simply means 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. And then we have 36 here, 1, 36 here. That's 3. That's 3. And the answer is 30 meters per second. 30 meters per second. So the correct option is, okay, let me leave the strokes here. The correct option is, that's supposed to be number, we have to leave the answer in standard form. And that's the same as 3 times 10 raised to power 1 meters per second, which is option, whether 3 or 3.0 is the same. 3.0 times 10 raised to power, that's 3.0 times 10 raised to power 1 meters per second. And that is option A. That's A. Now to the next, number 25, which says find the sum of the HCF and LCM of 15 and 20. Let's find the HCF first. HCF 15, 20. 5 is what we divide both of them, and here we have 3, 4. HCF equals 5. Now for LCM, let's do that beside it here. 15, 20. We start dividing by 2. 2 here, we write the 15. 10 here. 2 here, we write the 15. 5 here. 3 here. 5, 5, 5, 1, 1. So LCM equals 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And that's the same as 4. 2 times 2, 4 times 3, 12 times 5, 60. And we have to find the sum HCF plus LCM equals 5 plus 60, which is 65. And the correct option is D. Now to the next quickly. That was a piece of cake indeed. Expand minus 4x times minus 3y plus 5z. Okay, that means minus 4x times minus 3y. That will be plus 12xy. You remember minus times minus is plus. Now minus 4x times plus 5z is going to be minus 20xz. And that's the same as, okay, we have to expand, and that's just it. 12xy minus 20xz. The correct option is 12xy minus 20xz. The correct option is B. And we go to the next, number 27. 27 is simplify x plus 1 times x minus 1 plus 4x squared. X plus 1 times x minus 1 plus 4x squared. Of course, that's the same as x times x minus 1 plus 1 times x minus 1 plus 4x squared, which means x squared minus x plus x, when you open the brackets, minus 1 plus 4x squared. And that's the same as minus x plus x is 0. That's the same as x squared minus 1 plus 4x squared, which is x squared plus 4x squared is 5x squared, and that's 5x squared minus 1. The correct option is C, 5x squared minus 1. And then we go to number 28. Simplify 3 whole number 1 over 2 minus 1 whole number 2 over 3 times 1 whole number 3 over 5. This is the same as we use BODMAS, so we simplify what's within the brackets first. 3 whole number minus 1 whole number is 2 whole number, and then the LCM is 6. 2 in 6 is 3 times 1, 3, minus 3 in 6 is 2 times 2, 4. We have that times 1 whole number 3 over 5. And that means 2 whole number. Oh, here we can't take 4 out of 3. So we use that trick, which is borrow 1 from here. You'll be left with 1 whole number. And that's going to be the same as 1 whole number. That one you have borrowed, make it whatever the denominator is, which is 6. So 6 plus 3 minus 4 over 6 times, we are supposed to change this since we are multiplying to an improper fraction. And that becomes 8 over 5. And then it's 1 whole number. 6 plus 3 is 9, minus 4 is 5 over 6 times 8 over 5. And then we change that to, we change the mixed number to an improper fraction too, and it becomes 11 over 6 times 8 over 6. So 2 here 3, 2 here 4, and that gives us 44 over 5, which is finally 8 whole number 4 over 5. And the correct option, I hope it's there, 8 whole number 4 over 5. Wow. 1 whole number 3 over 2. Okay, 3 minus 1 is 2. 3 minus 4, that's correct. 6 plus 3, 9 minus 4 is 5 over 6 times 8 over 5. I'm trying to check to be sure there's no error in the question. And that's 11 over 6 times 4 over 5, which is 44 over, oh, sorry about that. That's supposed to be 44 over 15 and not 44 over 5. So that means 15 in 44 is 2. 15 times 2 is 30. And that's 14 whole number. Sorry, 2 whole number 14 over 15. And the correct option is C. That's why you really have to be careful and check again whenever you get an answer that doesn't appear in the options given. The next is 29, which says if 1/3 of the sum of 2 and 7 is divided by 3/4 of the positive difference of 15 and 7. 1/3 of the sum of 2 and 7. Sum of 2 and 7 is 9. That means 1 over 3 multiplied by 2 plus 7 is divided by 3/4 of the positive difference of 15 and 7. That's 3 over 4 of positive difference means subtract the small number from big one. And that means 1 over 3 times 9 divided by 3 over 4 times 8, which simply means, of course, 3 here 1, 3 here 3, 4 here 1, 4 here 2. That means 3 divided by 2, which is indeed 3 over 2, and that's 1 over 2. The correct option is divided by 3/4. What am I doing? That can be 2, sorry. That's supposed to be 3 divided by 6, and that's 1 over 2. 3 over 6, which is 1 over 2. The correct option is D. Down to the next question, 30, number 30, which says, if the diagonals of a rhombus are 4 and 8, 4 centimeters and 8 centimeters, find the area of the rhombus. What's the formula for the area of the rhombus? If the diagonals of a rhombus are 4 centimeters and 8 centimeters, find the area of a rhombus. The formula for the area of a rhombus is given by 1 over 2 multiplied by the product of the two diagonals. Let the diagonals be D1 and D2. And that means area equals 1 over 2 times 4 times 8. And that's going to be 2 here, 1, 2 here, 2. And that's 16 centimeters squared. The correct option is C. And now to the next, 31. Find the value of H in the diagram below. Oh, this is a piece of cake. That's a piece of cake. And then we go straight to it. This is 4H. This angle is 4H. This is 3H. And this is 2H. All of them are on a straight line. So 4H plus 3H plus 2H equals 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line. And that simply means 4H plus 3H is 7H plus 2H is 9H equals 180. Divide both sides by 9. And that means H equals 20 degrees. And the correct option is A. Now to the next, 32, which is, in a right-angled triangle, the acute angles are in the ratio 4 to 6. What are the acute angles? That looks a bit tricky, but I don't think it is difficult. It's simple. What are the acute angles if they are in the ratio? All right, in a right-angled triangle, this is a right-angled triangle. You know, of course, that one of them is certainly a right angle. So let this be the right angle. And let this be the remaining two angles, A and B. That means A to B, ratio A to B is 4 to 6. That means ratio A to B is 4 to 6. What that simply means is ratio A to B is 4 to 6. The acute right angle triangle, the acute angles are in the ratio 4 to 6. What are the acute angles? So that simply means that A and B, ratio A to B is 4 to 6. If I divide, this ratio is actually from, if I divide both of them by a particular number, I'm going to get this same ratio. And that simply means A over X is 4. Of course, you understand what I'm doing. When you work with ratios, if I say ratio 10 to 20 is 5 to 10. That simply means I've divided both of them by 2. So when you divide the numbers in the ratio by the same number, you're going to get a simpler form of the ratio. So here, I'm saying that X is that common number by which I'm dividing, is a smaller number that I'm dividing each of the numbers in the ratio by. So A over X to ratio B over X equals 4 to 6. That simply means, this is just a very simple trick. A over X equals 4X, which means A over X equals 4 rather, and that means A equals 4X, and B over X also equals 6, which means B equals 6X. Now, I can now say A plus B plus 90 equals 180 degrees. Sum of angles in a triangle. So that simply means 4x plus 6x plus 90 equals 180, which means 10x plus 90 equals 180. And that means 10x equals 180 minus 90. And that means 10x equals 90, which is, we divide both sides by 10, and that means x equals 9. Therefore, A equals 4 times 9, which is, this looks slightly long because I try to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. That means A equals 36 degrees and B equals 6 times x, which is 6 times 9, and that's 54 degrees. So therefore the acute angles are the acute angles are the acute angles are 36 degrees and 54 degrees. What's the correct option? 36, 54. The correct option is D. Now to the next. That was an interesting one. 33, very quickly. The area of a rhombus is 225 centimeters squared. If one of the diagonals is 18 centimeters long, find the length of the other diagonal. Of course, area of a rhombus is given by the formula half D1 D2, where D1 and D2 are the diagonals, are its diagonals. Now that area is, they give us one diagonal. Let D1 be the given diagonal, which is 18 centimeters. We already know area. Therefore, 1/2 times 18 times D2 is equal to 225, which is the area. And that simply means 2 here, 1, 2 in 18 is 9. And that means 9D2 equals 225. And we divide both sides by 9, which means D2 equals 9 here, 1. 9 in 22 is 2, which is 18. And we'll be left with 4. 945 is 5. So D2 equals 25 centimeters. Therefore, the second diagonal, the other diagonal is 25 centimeters long. And the correct option is, that's 25, and the correct option is C. That's beautiful. Down to the next, number 34. Number 34. The volume of a rectangular room, 12 meters by 8 meters by, 12 meters by 8 meters, 12 meters long by 8 meters wide is 576 meter cubed. Calculate the height of the room. Of course, volume is length times breadth times height. That means we know length already. Length is 12 meters. Breadth is 8 meters. And volume is 576 meter cubed. That means H, the height equals volume over length times breadth, which is 576 divided by 12 times 8. And that simply means, of course, what do we do? 8 here, 1. 8 in 57 is 7. 8 times 7, 56. We are left with 1. 8 in 16 is 2. And we can do this. 12 here, 1. 12 in 72 is 6. How about correct? Yeah, that's correct. So the answer is 6 meters. The height is 6 meters, which is 34, which is option C. The correct option is C. Now to the next, 35. Given that x plus y equals 9 and x minus y equals 3, find the value of xy. Here we have to solve the simultaneous equations and then find the product of x and y. X plus y equals 9 and x minus y equals 3. Let's call this equation 1 and this equation 2. Now, I'm solving by elimination and I'm adding the first equation to the second. X plus x is 2x, y minus y is 0, and that's 9 minus 3, 12. We now divide both sides by 2 to get x, which means x equals 6. Now we put x in any one of the two equations. I am putting it in 1. Putting x in 1, x plus y equals 9. That means 6 plus y equals 9, which means y equals 9 minus 6, which is 3. Therefore, xy equals 6 times 3, which is 18. What's the correct option to that? That's question 35. That's D. The correct option is D. Now to the next quickly, 36. Simplify. This looks quite murky. 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5 all over plus 1 over 5 of 1 over 5 all over 1 over 5 of 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5. That's equal to 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5 is 2 over 5. Of means times 1 over 5. Now, divided by 1 over 5 of. Oh, no. We shouldn't make that mistake. We multiply before dividing. So the numerator should be 1 over 5 plus. Now we do 1 over 5 of means times 1 over 5 all over. I think I'm going to go step by step that way. 1 over 5 of means times 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5. And now we multiply before dividing. So that means 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5 times 1 over 5 is 1 over 25 divided by. We also multiply before we multiply before adding, at the numerator, and we also do the same at the denominator. So we are multiplying before adding. So 1 over 5 times 1 over 5 is 1 over 25 now plus 1 over 5. So that simply means 1 over the numerator is going to be LCM is 25. 5 in 25 is 5 times 1, 5 plus 25 in 25 is 1 times 1, 1 divided by the same thing for the denominator. 25 in 25 is 1 times 1 is 1 plus 5 in 25 is 5 times 1 is 5. And that simply means 6 over 25 divided by 6 over 25. And that's of course 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. And that's 1. The answer is D. That looked a bit tricky, but was simple. We just needed to be very careful. Now the next, 37. A class consists of 10 boys and 16 girls. What is the probability that the topper is a boy? Okay. Number of girls, number of boys equals 10, and number of girls equals 16. What's the probability that the topper is a boy? P, that topper is a boy. Probability that the topper is a boy. That means the best student in that class is a boy. Is going to be number of boys, which is 10, divided by total number of students in the class, and that's 10 plus 16, which is 26, and that's equal to 2 here 5, 2 here 13, which is 5 over 13. And the correct option is C. The correct option is C. Beautiful. So we go to the next, number 38, which says, if 2 men dig a well in 12 days, how many days will it take 8 men to dig the same well if they work at the same rate? Of course, this is an indirect proportion. The more the men available to do the job, the fewer the days it takes them. And the fewer the men available to do the job, the more the days it takes them. So 12, it takes 2 men. I'm just going to do it this way. 2 men equals 12 days. 2 men equals 12 days. How many days will it take 8 men? This simply means 1 man is equal to 2 men took 12 days. 1 man would have taken 2 times 12, which is 24 days. And now, therefore, 8 men will take 24 over 8, which is 3 days. And that's reasonable because it didn't take 8 men as many days as it took 2 men. So that's correct. That's 3 days, and the answer is D. The correct option is D. Now to 39. Simplify 0.012 times 0.0009 all over 0.06, leaving your answer in standard form. All right, we multiply the numerator first. 0.012 times 0.009. We can just do 9 times 12 first, which is, of course, 0.012 has 3 decimal places, and 0.0009 has 4 decimal places. So if we just multiply 12 by 9, that gives us 108. We can now add the number of decimal places. That's 7. 3 plus 4 is 7 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the point is here. We put a 0 behind it and fill this with zeros. So the answer is actually, that's a smart way to do it. 0.12340 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 108 divided by 0.06. And now, we now divide that. And this is what to do. Move the decimal forward 1, 2, and do the same here, 1, 2. So the numerator becomes 0.12. The numerator becomes 0.00108 divided by 0.06. I'm sure you still remember this. Oh, sorry, divided by 6, which means 6 here, 1. 6 in 0 is 0. 6 in the next 0, 6 in the next 0 is 0. In the next one is 0. 6 in 1 is 0. 6 in 10, 1. We're left with 4. 6 in 48, 8. And the answer is 0.00018. And let's check the correct option. Or we were asked to write the answer in standard form. And in standard form, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.8 times 10 raised to the power minus 4. If you move decimal to the right in standard form, the power of 10 will be negative. But if you move to the left, the power of 10 will be positive. And the correct option is 1.8 times 10 raised to power times 10 raised to power minus 4. And that's C. I'm sure you can see the tiny minus in that power. That's 1.8 times 10 raised to power minus 4. Now to the next, number 40. Solve the equation 3x all over 2x plus 1 equals 3 over 5. Equals 3 over 5. This is a piece of cake. What we do is cross multiply, and then we have 5 times 3x, 15x equals 3. or maybe I should write it this way. 5 times 3x equals 3 into bracket 2x plus 1. And that means 15x equals 6x plus 3. We collect like terms by bringing 6x to the left-hand side. And it becomes minus 6x equals 3. That means 15x minus 6x is 9x. 9x equals 3. And then we divide both sides by 9 to get x. So that means x equals 1 over 3. And let's see what's the correct option. The correct option is A. So that's where I'm going to stop. That's where I'm going to stop in this part. And then we'll continue from there in the next. Thank you very much. And God bless you.